Hello and welcome to the Build with Bear Workshop. My name is Pat Baer. I'm here to assemble a model kit, and I'm also here to hang out with all of you. And before we get too far deep into the rabbit hole, I'm going to throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Site, the Tier 2 blue emote in the chat. If you are currently a subscriber, you can reply with those emotes. If you are not yet a subscriber, you can say hi. You can use other people's emotes. And if you feel like just being a lurker and not saying anything at all, you can just go ahead and lurk. That's also okay. It is, if you can believe it, a Saturday night. And I feel like building some model kits. And I should say specifically, we're going to be building two model kits because we are working on the Zaku 2 F-type LeSean and the Zaku 2 Unidentified type LeSean. To explain that, there were some modified Zaku 2s in a Gundam Requiem for Vengeance, which was the Gundam animated, computer-generated mini-series that was on Netflix. And there was a regular high-grade kit of the Zaku 2F that came out. I built it on this very fucking stream. But there's also a premium Bandai kit where they put out two variants of it. They are different from the one that went out there. There is the LeSean, which is the normal, and there's the unidentified type LeSean, which was just never even named. Hey, Lashbrook, welcome, welcome. So we have two Zaku 2s from Requiem for Vengeance to build, and we're going to build them at the same time. We're going to build the heads together. We are going to build, because they're similar, the parts that are different, we'll build one than the other. Normally, they say that you should start with the instructions. We'll go to the overhead camera here. The instructions are like, hey, you should build the chest first. They want me to build one chest and then build the other chest. And the difference is, this is easy to tell you. The difference is, this is green. One of the kits is green. And one of the kits is, what do they call this one? Khaki. This is khaki. And there is obviously a difference between the two. So we're going to do the green one, and then there's khaki, and you can kind of see that. But what we're going to do is we're going to do the heads first. Because there is another thing about this kit that I didn't realize. I know there's some extra parts and some stuff. But there is one other thing about this kit. Because, yeah, the heads are pretty much identical. So we can just do that. I guess the coloring is a little different. But whatever. Wait, does it tell me to do one and then do the other? No, it doesn't. Okay, yeah. I would have went with olive. Yeah, olive makes sense, but yeah, there's one of them is khaki, so we're gonna build the khaki one. There's another thing, and that is that this kit uses water slide decals, or depending on where you are in the world, decals. Some people call them decals. Not me, I call them decals. So these eye stickers here, and they give you an extra one, which is good because I fucked this one up. Because they were extras, I was like, let me see if this is just a sticker. No, these are water slides. So we got to put on these parts right here, we got to put some water slides on there, which we're going to do first because it's annoying. And so I just want to do it. I want to get it done. Because this is an annoying bit of business. So I've got water. I've got I got some here. We'll go there. We've got the Q-tip. I've got this here for sliding stuff. And I got an X-Acto blade. And so we are going to be applying the eye stickers. Now, from your perspective, you're probably not even going to see those when I take photos of this. But I still want to do it right. I still want to get it right and do it right. So I don't really care about... I care about these. These are going to go on the shields. These and these. So I care about those. I don't really care about any of this and any of this. This is like if I want to put this stuff on instead of, for extra. It's for extra. So we still have our safety one, which we're gonna do first. We're going to do our safety first just so I can... because I haven't done this in a while, but I figured if I'm gonna do this, I'd rather do it now than at like 9:45 or 10 p.m. At 10 p.m. 10:25, I don't want to be doing this, so we're doing it at 9. I'm also very tired today. My apologies if my energy dips throughout the stream. I'm hoping high energy will work. I've watched a lot of wrestling in the past couple of days, which has been very fun. I'm not complaining, but also today was a big chore day here at the Baer residence. Our screened-in porch, it was time to clean it up. We got a new outdoor rug for it, so I had to get the old outdoor rug up, and then we had to clean a lot because we had just so much an unbelievable amount of, I should actually, whatever. We had an unbelievable amount of pollen and stuff and just gross stuff that had to get cleaned up and ready because the pollen really falls here in this area. So I got that taken care of. All right, so let's get, all right, well, do this instead here. Okay, so here is this. We're going to put this on our tweezers. And these are, if you haven't seen these before, these are jeweler's tweezers. So they're locked. They're not great for plastic. They're excellent for paper. They're excellent for this application specifically. But you don't have to put pressure on them. You put pressure on them to open them up. They are inverse tweezers, and they are phenomenal for this kind of work. Okay, so let me line this up right. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our part right here. We are going to double check that it goes like that. Yeah, it goes like this, and it goes right there. We are going to use this side of the Q-tip to dampen this area. We're dampening. Now we are going to try to use, water slide with the help of water. We're going to try to slide this piece onto here. Now, this is not a flat surface, so you could just put it anywhere and wet the whole area. So I'm going to try to get this on, yeah, okay. So you can see it's sliding right off the paper. It may be hard to see. Okay, it's on my finger now, which is not good. So I am going to try to apply this where there's water here. Get this in place. You can fudge it a bit because of the water. But this is hard. This is a hard application because, again, this is not a flat or even curved surface. This is a very tiny surface that I'm applying this sticker to. And then I am going to use the dry side of the Q-tip to kind of dry the area out. And then with the, oh, okay, it's coming off. Okay, it is now, it's moved over here, so that's not good. So we'll try again. Now, some people are incredibly good at this, and they don't even need the water. They use the water to separate it from the paper, but they don't put any water on the surface. Those people are incredible, and I am not them. Folks that have been here a while, much like Lashbrook, like Lord Crashington, like Asmo, who pops in, those folks have literally seen me start to do water slides, because I didn't do water slides until a couple years into this channel. That some of y'all may even been here for my very first time that I ever did a. All right, I'm going to try the water again. You may have been here for my very first attempt at a dry transfer, which I fucked up and then did the water version. I was glad there were two, but I was like, well, I've never done a dry transfer, so let me try. It's like tracing. Okay. I've got it near where it's supposed to be, and it has come up, so that's not good. All right, it's where it's supposed to be. Going to put a little bit of pressure here on it. I'm trying to get it to... Nope. It is just not sticking. All right, we'll leave this because we do have one backup. In case this falls off, we do have a backup. So I'm just going to hit the dry paper here, the dry side. And we're going to go and try the other one. And again, I fucked up one to make sure it wasn't a regular sticker. Okay, it's not. And then we have one other backup because they did give us backups of the eye stickers, which is nice. And we don't really need it, but I want it. I want it to work, so I'm going to make it work. What was I going to say? I got an eye exam appointment. I got an appointment for an eye exam. I was complaining on Thursday about how I called people and no one got back to me. One person got back to me on Friday, and I made an appointment for a week from this coming Tuesday. I will be going in to get my eye exam, and then the plan is to get the results, get my new prescription, my eye prescription, and then that day get the information put into Warby Parker and get frames sent so that I can kind of pick some frames. And then basically look at some frames. Like, honestly, I'm going to go with the one that is closest to what I'm wearing now. There's going to be a simple black kind of chunky that I'm going to go for. It's not too thick, but I'm going to go for as similar to this as possible because I like these. And usually what I do is, like, with Warby Parker, there's like a couple that I'll get that are all like similar, and then I'll usually get like one or two weird ones because you never know. I might look at something that doesn't fit. And yes, I would also kind of like the glasses to be similar to the glasses that are on my two emotes that have glasses. One of them is kind of harder to see than the other. Well, actually three, because Goku does. But Goku, my face is so small in the blue emote because of all the hair. So, but I wouldn't mind that. It would be nice if that looked right. All right, so let's see if I can get this separated here. All right, that is separated. We now have to do the other one here. We're going to get some water on this. Water in the area. And then we will slide it on. Oh, nope, went to my finger instead. That is one issue about the slide method, is sometimes if there's water on the other side of the sticker, it'll stick to your finger. I have found that to be the case. And again, I am not particularly skilled with this, but I'm happy to have the update report that I did get an eye exam scheduled. Now, I'm doing it through Walmart, and supposedly Walmart doesn't give you the hard sell. They will just give you your eye prescription. So I am, hopefully that is true, because I just want that. I don't want to get glasses through Walmart, through their vision center. Do I like going to Walmart? No, I don't. I originally wanted to do through Costco, but their earliest appointment available at the nearest Costco here was in July for non-members, because I'm a guest of a member. I don't have a membership to Costco, but I'm a guest, which they will do. They just won't do it when I wanted it, which was before July. So I'm going to I'm giving this a try here with Walmart, and we'll see how it goes. All right, this sticker has not stuck, but we'll give it time. And again, we do have one backup. If this doesn't work, we got one more shot. Oops, it did come off completely. It did not adhere at all. All right, let's do one more shot of getting this to apply here. Oh, nope. Nope. Okay. We'll see. We're going to leave those. We're going to do the rest of the head. We're going to see how that goes. Put this over here. And I don't know if we need to do any more stickers, but any stickers we do are these transfers. So when we do the shields and all that, I don't think there's any more stickers we have to do during the building. I think all the other stickers are later. But don't hold me to that. because I don't fucking know. I can't tell you for sure. All right, so next step is B225 green and khaki. So we'll get the B225 and we'll get those together here. Another update. You should not hear anything. When I don't talk, there is no rumbling. There is no anything being picked up on the microphone. So you should not be affected by this because of the gate that I have. But I have a fan going. I have cool air blowing at me. Now, this is funny, and I think you'll appreciate this. I did skeet about this. For the longest time, I just haven't had a fan in here. I've been putting up with it. I open my window when it's warm, but not warm enough in the rest of the house. Because of the many monitors I have, because of the placement of this room in the house and the direction of it and all that, this room gets hot the fastest, which is, as you may be aware, bad. That's bad that happens. It happens, and it's not good. It's bad that it gets really warm in here. And then my new overhead light has also increased the various heat that is coming out of this place. So that is obviously not great. And so I was like, I saw it on sale, and I was like, you know what? This is a highly rated little desk fan. It says quiet in it. Who knows if that's true? But, some of the things some of the older posts about it seem to indicate that it works well as a quiet fan. And also, like I said, I can gate it. I can, in the same way that my computer, you don't hear my computer fans running, which you would normally because of where the placement of the computer monitor or the tower is compared to, in relation to my microphone. But I have a good gate for that, so you don't hear that stuff. So I was like, okay, I think it'll be okay. As of yesterday, we were running the air conditioner at night in here because at night it just gets all the heat of the day, and then also any heat that came up from like dinner, like cooking on the stove and all that, just kind of comes up in a way that is like not pleasant. So we have turned the air on. But I know that my room is going to get hotter before anybody else's, so I still have the fan going because I haven't opened the window because they're not turning the air off until during my stream. So it's very inconvenient for me. But either way, I got a fan going, and I'm very happy about it because it's not making a lot of noise and it looks nice. The black fan was like $3 more, so I got a nice white fan. And we'll see. We'll see how it works long term. But right now, anyway, I can tell you that I'm pretty fucking pleased. All right, so this is the first time where I have to be careful of this because we've now done, this is now part 2. We're doing part 2 here. It's B230, 34. So the part that I pull off here has to go on the right one because I don't want to mix and match the colors. You understand. So that has to go there. Khaki has to go there, or as Lashbrook said, maybe olive, and green goes here. And we got to make sure that we're doing that correctly. Because if we're not doing that correctly, then we're fucking up. This is going to be a little bit of a... Eventually, it'll just feel like a nice rhythm. But right now, it feels like I'm goofing up constantly by doing it like this. When we do the chest, which it is the first step, but we didn't do that because I wanted to get these stickers on. When we do the chest, you do one and then the other, so that'll make more sense in my head. And as I said at the beginning, at the top of the stream, I've done this kit before. Obviously, I've built Zaku 2s before, but specifically the Zaku 2 from the show I've done before. So right now it's just like, yeah. All right. So green and khaki have that. Green and khaki both have C222. So obviously one and the other. And again, if I mess it up and put the wrong one on, I'll notice and should be able to fix it. So, you know, obviously the head, small pieces, want to make sure I'm doing this correctly. But if I mix and match, I should be able to fix it. Let's see. We'll probably talk wrestling in a bit. I will say that I didn't watch. I gave up on Snowball Earth. I am done with Snowball Earth. I don't have a manga review for you because I didn't watch the episode 3 of Snowball Earth. I didn't start watching it until this evening. After dinner, I was like, you know what? I'm going to watch that now. And then halfway through, I was like, actually, I don't like this show. I did find out that one character is being dubbed in the English dub. There is a minor character by a guy I only know from Instagram. He is the guy, I don't remember his name because I don't follow him, but he is a black gentleman that talks about black nerd stuff and racism in the nerd space and just in general, and creative writing and all that. And he has like a Mount Lady gear from My Hero Academia, and I was like, oh, he's a dub in that. That's neat. I don't go out of my way to listen to dubs, but I was like, that's cool. But anyway, Snowball Earth, I really liked the first episode, and then they were like, that's not what the show is, and I was like, oh, but I liked the first episode, so I'll let that drop. But I don't have a manga recommendation, so the second hour will just be talking about one show, and I'm gonna figure something out. Right now, I'm only reviewing 4 shows this season, and so I gotta pick a new one to talk about on Saturdays, and I will do that. I haven't picked that yet, but I will. I just don't know what it's gonna be yet. And it was too late for me to do a manga review, so sorry. But we will talk about an observation log of my fiancée who calls herself Villainess, because that still fucking rules, and that is still a really fun one. So we'll talk about episode 3 of that. Hey, let's start with Iron Galaxy news. Unfortunate Iron Galaxy news. You know, on this channel we do talk about highs and lows in the games industry, and we do need to talk about a low. There were layoffs, and we don't know the exact number, but we just know a number of workers, and they are basically reducing their overhead size at Iron Galaxy, and that fucking sucks. Like, obviously, this is a company that I have friends that work at it at various stages and levels. And so when I say this sucks, I mean not just for the people who are laid off, which of course I fucking mean that. Of course I do. But it also sucks for Iron Galaxy and what they're trying to do. But they are, you know, they're a fairly large, they're like a, how do I put this? They're like a medium-sized studio, and those don't really exist. And so to me, that makes it pretty obvious that things are going to be rough. If things are rough for large companies and small companies, medium-sized companies are also feeling the burn. They also, you may remember that their most recent big game was Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4. They posted on LinkedIn, a number of teammates and friends are being let go as the studio adjusts to a new company structure. As always, when you say friends and you are a company, I think that sucks. I don't care if it's true. And in this case, it's probably true. I don't care if it's true. I still think it fucking sucks, because they're not your friends, they're your employees. They are people you like, but they are your employees. The language of it bothers me, and I think it always will. The statement said that they attributed layoffs to market conditions in the video game industry. And yeah, Man, when I say they're a like medium-sized studio, they have locations, right? They have like physical offices in Orlando, Chicago, Austin, and I forgot that they opened a place in Nashville. Yeah, they have like 5 locations. But I think Chicago, yeah, I mean, is the big one. But yeah, they've got small little studios. Let's see. Oh, I didn't realize they have a game in Fortnite. That makes sense. That's a small little thing you can try. You may remember that last year they laid people off as well. And that was their last-ditch effort to maintain some stability after something happened, which was probably funding for a thing fell through at last minute, and they didn't have the cushion that they assumed that they were going to have, is probably the thing. I don't have any direct evidence to that, but that is my assumption based on some stuff. Got to be a lot harder to contract studio support when studios are closing left and right. Yeah, I mean, like, port work is good work, right? Port work is good work if you can get it, right? But if big companies aren't investing their own money in games in their studios, then you probably aren't having I don't know what this says. You're probably doing a lot of shit in-house because you have people, because you're not green-lighting big projects for those people. So you're probably doing the port work yourself, and you're not going to third parties, you know? So I'm sure there's less work from that. And self-publishing only gets you so far. We don't know how many people were laid off is the thing. They just said a number. We don't have the number. And it sucks. Obviously, it fucking sucks. And again, like, there was no part of me that said, oh, I shouldn't talk about this because I think Dave Lang is cool. And I do. I think Dave Lang is a cool dude. I don't think Dave Lang is out there going like, we need the head count lower for this and this, you know, whatever. Like, I don't think they take these things lightly. But at the same time, I can say that doesn't matter to the people that got laid off. Like, your feelings don't mean anything. Like, it's worse if you feel bad about it. If you are not going by, well, we don't know who we laid off really. The spreadsheets just had to align in the right way. If you're not an Epic and you're not laying off the guy with fucking brain cancer, like, that's a different thing, right? Like, that, it's not cold and calculated. It's like, oh yeah, no, we're a family. And also, you're not part of the family anymore. Like, to me, that always feels fucking worse. So I don't know. It sucks. And I wasn't going to avoid that conversation. Just like I didn't the last time they had layoffs in 2025. We talked about that then too. I hope this is not just bailing water. I hope that this is something that something comes along for them and keeps them afloat. But I don't know, man. It's fucking rough out there. One thing that might help people stay a little bit afloat if you're in the United Kingdom is that the UK government has committed 28.5 million pounds to supporting local game developers. These are targeted grants issued by the UK Games Fund. That is part of their creative industry sector plan, which is designed to help turbocharge economic growth. That's in quotation marks, so you know it's fucking garbage speak. This is a doubling of funding for the sector, and now so in total, and then also now game developers can. So an entry track which grants up to $20,000 available to newly formed companies with limited track records but strong potential for growth. So if you're just like, hey, we're a bunch of people that worked here, we're starting a business, you could get some fucking money. The emergent track, which grants up to £100,000 for prototyping new games, and an expansion track, which grants up to $250,000, the largest ever provided by the fund, available to take games forward to completion, enable studios to scale up. So if you're like a company that like had like a modest hit, or like maybe you made a game that BAFTA recognized, you got nominated for a BAFTA, and you were like, hey, we would like money to grow our studio for the next thing. Or we're a live service game and we would like more money we would like a little help to keep things, to build things up. And you're UK based, you can get a little bit of grant money, which is good. It's good. That's a good thing. That's very good. We like that, and we like seeing that. So that's a nice little bit of news. I was happy about that. And here's the story that, like, I don't know, man. I don't know if this is good or bad. So there's a multiplayer only online game that came out for $15. That's called Last Flag. It is a capture the flag game. And Kotaku decided that's a live service game because it's online, but it's not free. And live service doesn't mean free. Live service to me means it can be free, but it means that they need you to keep coming, and they're hoping you're going to buy stuff. And right now, you can't really buy stuff. They have a roadmap, and that's why Kotaku apparently thinks it's live service. But whatever. Either way, it's a $15 game, and you're like, what? Like, I've never heard of Night Street. I don't know anything about this game. Yeah, it didn't come out. Okay, it didn't like launch big. And like Steam DB says that like it hasn't sold 1,000 copies, or sorry, it has 600 concurrents. And you're like, okay. And again, Kotaku, I think, is wrong to put this on the same level as other games, as other games. Like, to compare this to High Guard, to me, is just like, no, it costs money. You compare it to other indie titles. Now, yeah, it's multiplayer only, so it's only as good as its base, and they could probably do stuff like free weekends, try to get people in, and stuff like that. Why am I even talking about this game that up until now I've never spoken about before? Well, because to me, one of the interesting elements of it are, and again, we're gonna do the body here of the green. So we're gonna do all the green, and then we'll do the khaki after that. The reason why I'm bringing this up, to me, that's interesting about it, is that the studio Night Street is owned and was founded by the Reynolds brothers, Dan and Mac Reynolds. And Dan even does some coding. The first couple games for Night Street were done by Dan. Now, Mac Reynolds, you may not know anything about. He's a manager of bands, specifically one particular band. He manages his brother's band. Dan Reynolds is the lead singer of Imagine Dragons. The lead singer of Imagine Dragons has a game studio, and they put out a game that is not doing well right off the bat. To the point where the social media accounts of Imagine Dragons were promoting the game, because why the fuck wouldn't you promote the game? And that didn't move the needle either. And so that is like what some people are saying, like, okay, if the lead singer of Imagine Dragons put out a video game and it didn't sell, like, what are we doing? And to that I say, well, they put out a small game that people didn't bite on, and that happens. It is interesting that that the man what sang Radioactive, like has a video. It, to me, the isn't the thing about like, oh, this game isn't doing well. It's like, yeah, all right, it's a video game. Like, yeah, it's a video game in 2026. It's not doing well. The only reason we even heard about it at all is because it's the lead singer of Imagine Dragons that fucking put out a video game, and apparently at some point also worked on like small little games when the studio was starting out. Also, I should point out the fun facts that I know about Imagine Dragons. Here's my Imagine Dragons bit of business for you. Is that Imagine Dragons was a Vegas band, and they were just doing their thing, and they were like playing shows and not really going anywhere, and like took some gigs doing studio sessions because that's how you make money, you know, doing backing bands for singers and stuff like that, just doing their thing. And they had the lead singer's brother had some connections and was gonna get, like, not trying to get the album together or anything like that, just trying to get them work, and was like, hey, there's a musical that's being adapted. They're going to try to make a musical based on a Marvel property, and they don't have anyone doing music yet. So that, like, I am not saying, hey, record the album. Come up with some stuff for it, and we'll see if we can make this happen because it would be big. And of course, nothing happens with that. They don't get the job. But the songs they wrote for as a treatment for this musical became the album that was their big hit album. Because before The Edge started writing music for the Spider-Man musical, Imagine Dragons did. Radioactive is about Spider-Man, is what I'm fucking saying to you. The song Radioactive is fucking about Spider-Man and was created and for a treatment of like, this is what the music for a Spider-Man musical could be. And they were like, actually, The Edge is interested, so we're going with The Edge. And then they were like, fuck, we have an album. But that got the attention of people, and they fleshed out the album and put it out. And that used to be my fun facts about Imagine Dragons. And now I can add to that, also, the lead singer has a video game studio. And if I take a step one back further, I shared this information once at an improv show. We were doing an opening where we like conversed the living room. It's a suggestion or previous scenes inspire you to tell a little mini monologue. And there was something about Imagine Dragons came up, and I told this story, and I was like, and then so we did some scenes based on that, and it was, I would describe it as a fun time. It was a fun little bit of business. So I do that, and then after the show, I'm talking to people, we're hanging out, and somebody that interned at the theater at the time, but not one of my interns, came up and said, "Oh, hey, Pat. Can I tell my friend about what happened tonight?" And I was like, normally it's just like, I give the line, well, if you're going to describe an improv scene, you shouldn't, because you had to be there. It's never good. Like, I described to you, like, I don't even remember the specifics, right? I didn't describe to you what happened. I just said, oh yeah, I talked about what I just told you, and we did it improv with it. I think somebody was like Spider-Man, but he was like a member of the Ramones. I think that's what happened there. He was like a Ramones member. Is also in It was also Spider-Man. I think that's what we said. I don't remember. It's been so long. But I didn't describe the scene to you because that's not good. You got to be there. So I kind of like start saying like, well, I mean, if you want to. And they're like, oh no, sorry. I went to college with the guitarist from Imagine Dragons, and I want to let him know that their story was an inspiration for improv. And I was like, oh yeah, you can definitely do that. That's totally okay. Because we weren't dicks about it, I don't think. We were maybe a little bit of dicks about it, but whatever. Also, if you're in Imagine Dragons, you've heard way worse than some fucking Lower East Side improvisers doing some goofs at your expense. You've heard way fucking worse. I guarantee. So that's like those are all my Imagine Dragons stories. And now one of them is the lead singer has a video game studio, and their game didn't do well at launch, so Kotaku fucking wrote about it. One of the Zachs wrote about it, and that's Zach with a K. There are 2 Zachs with a K that work for Kotaku. And that's not like a lot of Zachs with a K, but it's more than one, and that's a little weird. I find that odd. Because H is the one. You know what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying. All right, I need the other D. That was D2. So I need D1. D1. That's all the game stuff. Hey, The Sandman. The professional wrestler The Sandman had his retirement match in GCW's Joey Janela's Spring Break 10. Featured The Sandman in his final match. And when word got out that was happening, people were like, oh God, is he facing Joey Janela? Because weeks after Sabu had his retirement match against Joey Janela at Spring Break 9, Sabu passed away. Sandman did not have his last match against Joey Janela. He had his last match against the Invisible Man. If you are unfamiliar with the Invisible Man, that is a concoction that has been a stalwart of the indie scene for many, many years. It is a goofy bit of business where you as a wrestler are selling for an invisible person. It has been a good bit of business for many years. It heightened to what I thought was... Yes, so Stu Grayson seemingly had murdered the Invisible Man, but he was okay. So, yeah, Stu Grayson fighting it that was pretty recent. He travels all over the world to wrestle people, and he's slippery. A thing about the Invisible Man is that it culminated, in my opinion, it hit its top, and probably should have been retired around the world as a gimmick, because one year the Invisible Man fought his brother, Invisible Stan. And if you're wondering, how does a wrestling match happen where one wrestler is invisible and the other wrestler is invisible? How does that fucking work visually as a gimmick? The answer is the referee. The referee in that case was Bryce Remsburg, who in some people's opinion is too involved, but is an unbelievably talented comedian, and pulled it off. Invisible Man versus Invisible Stan is a unbelievable testament to the power of buying into it. Commentary, certainly doing some ad libs, reading the gestures of the referee, Bryce, but for the audience, the live audience who is fully fucking bought in and committed, they're just going on what they can see. They're not hearing the commentators. They're just seeing a man react to things and be like, oh no, like, oh, ow, ow, oh, they're both down. And he starts counting because they're both down. Like, they both leap off a thing, and he's just like freaked out by it. An errant low blow or an errant kick or something. Like, it is a remarkable experience to watch. And I feel like that is the heightening of it. The Sandman did a really fucking good job selling for an invisible person. There were obviously bells and whistles, and by that I mean there was a physical fucking whistle. Bill Fonzie, from ECW, manager to the stars at ECW, with his fucking stupid whistle because he's a coach, showed up, and he helped kind of align the world to where Invisible Man was. The referee sold it very well. And then there was a bunch of bullshit, which is what you want. You don't want a 20-minute match where the Invisible Man and Sandman just wrestle. You want bullshit. You want betrayals. You want run-ins. JCW, that's Juggalo Pro Wrestling. They have a character, a manager who has a bunch of zombies. And so zombies attacked the fucking Sandman. You know, like the zombie that was at the first episode of WWE's ECW that Sandman wrestled. They were related to those zombies. That zombie apparently. They show up. Richard Holiday, who is an independent wrestler who sucks. I don't like his gimmick. He was there interfering. Missy Hyatt was out there, which is always a mistake in my opinion. But also Missy Hyatt and another woman whose name escapes me, and I apologize. They got into a tussle and hit each other with kendo sticks, or Singapore canes, as they are referred to in ECW. They hit each other with kendo sticks, and then they both got out of the ring and both walked backstage they were near each other. Their spot was hit each other with canes, leave the ring, and then go backstage. And they didn't, like, the live crowd just watched them walk away, and the cameras caught them just like not going through the motions, just being done. Like, they're like, oh, we're done. We'll go backstage now. It was very fucking funny, unintentionally very funny, but also part of the charm. Just a number of nonsense things happened. Hey, guess what? Much like Lashbrook thought that Invisible Man was dead, he's not. Invisible Stan isn't dead either. Invisible Stan came back, and we were like, great. Invisible Stan's going to get his revenge on Invisible Man, and he's going to help out our boy, and everything's going to work out great. No. He turned on the Sandman, and he sided with his brother, who did try to kill him at one point, but whatever. I guess they worked it out. And so it was Invisible Man and Invisible Stan were beating the shit out of the Sandman. And it looked like that was gonna fucking be it. That looked like the end of it. That was gonna be the big ending. We were done. And then the sound of a car crash. And who fucking comes out? Legitimate ECW legend, Mick Foley. Mick Foley came out to help the Sandman. And I gotta say this, I have not seen him moving around. It has been a long time since I was in the same room physically as him. He is in better shape now than he was when I briefly worked with him. He got up off the ground. He got into the ring very quickly, and he stood up without the assistance of anyone else, which is remarkable. He's lost some weight, and he's also his knees are apparently in much better shape after some surgeries. But he is in, like, he shouldn't wrestle ever again, but he can move around, and it doesn't feel like awful to look at, and that's an accomplishment. Anyway, it wasn't enough. The involvement of Mick Foley wasn't enough to take the tide. In his last match, in his final match, we did see the defeat of the Sandman. And then Mick Foley had some words as people gave some cheers and some adulations for our guy. the Sandman, and Mick Foley talked from the heart, and he said, I had plans. I wasn't going to come do this, but I thought about it. And he goes, look, you and I never got along. I don't like you, but I do love you. And it was like, you could tell, like that was from the real place, and that was from the heart. And that is the kind of vibe that it feels like these sorts of dudes and ladies certainly have for one another, of like a lot of respect. He's like, but it's like we worked well together, even if we didn't get along. And it was nice. It was a nice little touching tribute to the Sandman, who is now retired, no longer a professional wrestler. And it was nice. It was a nice little business. The rest of the show had its highs and its lows. One of the highs was Brody Lee Jr. versus Joey Janela. That's right. The literal teenage son of Brody Lee. Rest in peace, Brody Lee. His son, -1 in AEW. He's on the roster page. He signed a contract. He's on their roster page. Brody wrestled. He is currently being trained in the Heart Dungeon. And I am not lying to you. The teenage son of the late, great Brody Lee is being trained by Natalia Neidhart and TJ at the invite only. They have a roster of people they train, and he is being trained there, which is weird but true. And hey, you know what? Brody Jr. can fucking work. Like, he's being carried. Joey Janela, in his sober days now, is a very giving person, and went out of his way to make him look like $1 million. But you know, it's a two-way street. He also had to try, and he did. I thought that was great. Let's see, what was the best match of the night? I mean, I think that might have been the best physical match. I don't know. Jack Perry and Marco Stunt versus KJ Orso and Sam Stackhouse was actually pretty fucking fun. It was some good business. The ring announcer did a tornado DDT. It was kind of fucking weird and cool. Good business. Emil J did a fucking got to do a little wrestling. Good shit. The Rascals versus Alec Price and Jordan Oliver and Marcus Mathers was good. It could have been better. I think Marcus was off, but it was still good. Yeah, that was a good show. Megan Bayne and Nick Gage versus Mance Warner and Steph DeLander was fine. It was fine. It wasn't particularly awe-inspiring or anything, but it was a good little thing. I'll say this. Nick Gage looks pretty good. All things considered. Nick Gage seems to be doing all right. And that's nice, because that man has gone through hell. Some of which was a hell of his own making, but he has gone through hell. So happy to see him doing any sort of good in any way. A complaint I saw about this kit, when this came out, I believe last year, the high grade version of this that was just out, like the singles, is that people really want the beads. You've seen me build these probably with that. There are a lot of beads you could put on, and you have to for these this tubing. And to that I say, no, this is way better. Just give me the plastic. I don't need it to be fucking special and weird. I just need it to work. I think this one... I'm going to double check this is D5, because I might have pulled the wrong one off. D15. Okay, I did pull D15 out. Okay. For some reason, I just wasn't fully committed to this being the correct piece, but apparently it is. We'll take a pause to the cause in a little bit. I'll talk about ways you can support the channel and what I do here. But, yeah, we'll get into that. Let me just get this. And then we got to build a chest that is like this, but the other side. Well, we're not done yet, but we're almost done with this chest. And then we got to build it again, but this time it's got to be in the other green that is not green. The other color that is also green, but not green. You can pull this piece out here. Any other wrestling that I want to just talk about? I'm not watching WrestleMania. Obviously, I'm streaming tonight, not watching WrestleMania. I didn't watch it last year. I don't have any plans to watch it in the future. I just don't want to give that company my money or attention. But I do know that Paige, formerly Saraya in AEW, formerly Paige in WWE, is back. They signed Paige and she's wrestling. I will say, my thoughts on this is that Paige was a great wrestler in a time where WWE did not have great wrestlers. You may remember that she won the Divas title. It wasn't called the women's title. It was called the Divas title. She was one of the last Divas champions. And so she broke the mold in ways that were really good and important. And then she got unbelievably injured, and WWE did not want to have her wrestle. They had her as a talking head. They had her as a manager. She always thought she could come back. They didn't want that. So when her contract expired, she left, and then she ended up in AEW as Saraya and wrestled. She won the championship in the United Kingdom, which is nice for her. She tried to get her brother a job, and he had a couple appearances on TV, mostly Rampage, but he did get a job for a bit. She had a terrible faction that almost destroyed the career of Toni Storm. Toni Storm, it is remarkable and amazing that Toni Storm was in one of the worst factions in AEW's ever produced, got out of it, and then somehow managed to find a new character that became timeless, and the rest is fucking history. But, man, almost fucking died 1,000 deaths because of the outcasts. Ugh. The fucking team of people that used to work at WWE and want to skip ahead, I guess, is their fucking dumb bullshit idea. It was terrible. It was terrible. Oops. Oh no. Dropping sprues. Gotta make sure I get that. I gotta pick up something I dropped. Hold on. Okay. I'll do this last piece, and then we'll take the pause for the cause and talk about Wasting Sports Channel. Anyway, Saraya eventually I'm sure. So, Lashbrook, they don't go out anymore. Ex-boyfriend. She still defends him and his fucking transphobic, awful views, but they haven't been dating for a while. That piece of shit just, yeah, he fucking sucks unbelievably, but they aren't dating anymore. She still supports him and his fucking bullshit. She's garbage. And she's back in WWE, which is awesome because it means she's not going to wrestle in AEW anymore. And I don't have to see her wrestle because she probably shouldn't have come back to wrestling because it didn't work out great for her. She's not particularly good right now, which is understandable considering all of the issues that she's had physically. But also, I don't need to fucking see it. All right, we got some work done here. We'll panel on this in the second hour. Then we'll work on the other chest and get that started at least. It is very weird to be working on these at the same time. I almost kind of want to just build one and then build the other, but I'm going to go with the instructions. We'll figure it all out. We'll probably talk about... On Monday, I might talk about some other wrestling. Yeah, I might talk about some other wrestling on Monday. We'll see. There were other shows I watched. There's one tonight, the clusterfuck, that I don't expect to watch tomorrow, but I might. Anyway, now is the part of the stream where I'm going to talk to you. That's right, you, about ways that you can, things you can do to support me the guy who's streaming right now. Everything I'm about to talk to you is optional. You are under no obligation to do any of these things, but if you would like to support me financially, you can. You being here is the most important thing. If you want to come by on a stream and watch and hang out, that's awesome. I love that so much. Here's some other ways to go above and beyond if you feel like it. First and foremost, you could throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe, the Tier 2 Blue emote in chat if you are currently a subscriber. Being a subscriber here on Twitch is the easiest way to support me because you're already here. You're already doing the ding-dang thing. So if you want to keep doing that, you can throw in some emotes. That would be great to let the people know. You don't see ads, pre-roll ads, or if I have to take an ad break, you don't see that. And you get some cool emotes and it's nice. And the number go up. And that everybody like when number go up. You like number going up. Being a subscriber, again, easiest way, but there are other ways. Like, hey, what if you wanted to support me on Patreon? Patreon.com/PatBaer. Over my Patreon, there's a $1, $3, $5, and $10 tier. There are different rewards for different tiers. Consider joining me on Patreon. I'm having a great time over on the Patreon, and take a look, see if there's a thing there. I've been doing it for a long time. Always looking for new people to join in. Over on YouTube, you can, of course, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Hey, Dirty, welcome. And while you're over there on YouTube, consider becoming a member. For just $2 a month, you'll get my Wednesday videos on Tuesday. So the video I put up this Wednesday, you would have seen it before other people saw it. You wouldn't worry about it. You'd be like, oh yeah, Pat, I already know what that video is. I saw it on Tuesday. So consider doing that. Those are all monthly ways to support me. If you just want to throw something in the tip jar, I have a Ko-Fi and a PayPal, and you can make a direct donation that way. Everything I make through direct donations, through YouTube, which includes AdSense, so watching my videos helps me out, through Patreon and through Twitch, all goes into a fund. And from that fund, I pull money out to buy model kits and equipment and all kinds of things and things. I've got a backlog of cool stuff. I just... this overhead light I purchased because of your past generosity, I was able to do that, knowing that, yeah, I got this money coming in pretty regularly, and it'll help me do it the next time. But I should point this out, that the thing I'm currently working on, these two Zakus that I'm building at the same fucking time, these two Zaku 2s, this was sent to me, this and another thing were sent to me by a viewer. So DSHS reached out and said, hey, I have these. I am not going to build these. Do you want them? And I said, yes. And I don't usually do that, but I did because they were really tempting and interesting. So I got them. The easier way, instead of messaging me personally with model kits you have that you're not going to build from your own backlog, is to just buy something for me to build on my Amazon wish list. Let's check out this wish list. I've got model kits and Lego sets, inexpensive kits, expensive kits, some gear, some equipment, and I would love to build those things. I do want to point out that there is speaking of green kits that are fucking pretty cool, I've had on this wish list the Gallus J, which is from Double Zeta, and I would really like to build it because this color green is just so good. I don't know how to describe it. It's just like, it's like candy coating green, like like an M&M shell green. It's the wrong way to describe it, but there's something about this green that just really speaks to me. I would like to put that together. I would like to build this kit. And you could buy it for me to build off the wish list. And then again, much like the things I'm working on right now, they'll jump the queue and become the next thing that I work on. So if you wanted to do that, you could do that. That's the easiest way. There are other ways to do that, like my throne wish list, if you want an alternative to Amazon, because it's nice. I've never seen the Gallus J before. It is very silly. Yeah, I think it's fucking cool. It's on my wish list because I'm like, I fucking want to build that. But I got a wish list on Throne. You can check that out. And then if you want to support me financially, and it has to be convoluted and complicated and a lot of steps, if that's what works for you, go to USA Gundam Store. Buy a gift card there. They will send you an email with the gift card code. Then you can send me a whisper on Twitch or a private message on Blue Sky or Mastodon with that gift card code. And then I'll use that gift card code to buy something from USA Gundam Store. which people have done, and it's very nice of them. It's another, and then yeah, again, anything bought in those 3 methods, they jump the queue. Like my backlog, just because I got the Atlas or the Thunderbolt, Atlas Gundam from Thunderbolt in my backlog. I have another Zaku 2 in my backlog. It's another Char Zaku 2. I can't fucking believe I'm going to build these 2 Zakus, and then at some point in the next couple months, I'll build another Zaku. This is almost like a Zaku 2 channel, not a Death Sight channel, but there are more Zaku 2s than Death Sights out there, I guess, kit-wise. Anyway, I got a bunch of stuff, and I'm very happy with that. And hey, if you want to support me and you don't want to spend any money, join my fucking Discord. We'd love to have you in the Discord. It's obviously free, and I post build photos at the end of every stream. People post stuff they're working on. It is a cool place, and you are welcome to come hang out there if you are looking to fucking hang out. We'd love to have you. A couple video links for you to check out. Please watch this episode of Pat Baer's Anime Club I recently posted. There's a lot of isekai out there, and I'm going to talk about one on tonight in a little bit. But yeah, I made a video about all the isekai, all 11 that are out this season, which ones I'm watching, which ones I'm going to maybe watch, maybe not weekly, but I'll check them out, and which ones I don't think I'm going to watch at all. Maybe one of the ones that is in my maybe pile, I'll start reviewing on Saturdays, but right now, I don't know. I just don't know. So yeah, take a look at that, see if there's something there that, in that video that maybe I talk about a show that appeals to you, and you want to watch something of Rib Incarnation. There's a weird one that is visually interesting, but I didn't like the first episode, and I might go back and check it out because it seemed pretty fucking cool. Anyway, I'm going to talk about an anime that I have been watching. But speaking of anime, before I do that, I have to recommend an anime video for you to check out. Another one. Kuma Baer, my ongoing video series where every week I do a short about an anime. In this case, talking about my favorite shows from the winter season. And so I had to talk about, the second season of Frieren. It's just Frieren's so fucking good, and the second season was so goddamn good. Like, I don't know. Sometimes they're a no-brainer. Sometimes my Kuma Baer videos, I'm like, hey, I don't know if you watched You and I Are Polar Opposites, but it's real good. I just told you a future video, but whatever. In this case, it was like, hey, maybe you don't know that Frieren freaking rules, but I feel like you probably do. But if you don't know, now you know. You should watch it. It's great. Season 2, awesome. All right, so I'm going to talk about an anime episode, then I'll talk about some gaming, and I might talk more about some wrestling because we'll probably have time. So maybe I'll talk about some of the wrestling that I watched this weekend. Let's see. So maybe I'll do that. I don't know. But what I do know is that before I talk about this anime that I'm watching and go through the episode, I need to drink a beverage, and we need to get back to the overhead camera so I can panel line this here model kit. And we're going to do that right now. Oh, I really needed that. Damn. As I said, I did some stuff in the yard today, and it really drained me. I had a mask on, a respirator on, but all of the pollen that was just out there, and I had gloves on, and it was still a lot. Hey, Lord Crashton, welcome. So as I panel line this, and as I luxuriate in the Honeywell fan that is currently pointed at me, ooh, so good. Oh, this fan is so nice. As I panel line this before we build the same exact chest, but in khaki, as they say. The eyeballs got weird on this, and I don't remember how to turn this, but oh, that one's good. This eyeball's not good. Can I move it? Yeah, I can move it like that. Great. Sorry, I just want to get this eyeball put in the right place. There we go. It was the mid-70s today, and we have freezing watch for the next 2 days because it'll be in the 40s after the rainstorms tomorrow. Lord Crashton, that's crazy talk. For us, it's been warm enough that we turned the air conditioning on just around the same time that I got a fan delivered. But that's okay because the air goes off during the stream and it gets warm in here. So the fan helps before I can open the window at night. I'm not going to have the fan running all the time. It's just going to be when I'm streaming. Because during the day, if I have the window open, it's not too bad. But at night, when this door closes and this light comes on and this light comes on and... Yeah. Thank you, Lord Crashton. Yes, it's finally time for the air conditioning. As I've said, this room gets hotter than other rooms in the house, and I suffer for it. But I shouldn't need the fan at night because the window being open will be enough. But I don't have the window. Here's the thing. Here's the fucking thing where the fan comes in super handy. If I stream at 9 o'clock and the air conditioning gets turned off at 9:30, then the air conditioning is off, but I can't open my window because I'm doing this. I'd have to pause the stream and do that. I'm not going to do that, so then it's just going to get warmer and warmer in here. But the fan keeps the air moving and keeps a nice little breeze on me, and it's good. And also, it's not picked up by the gate. Like, I'm going to stop talking for a second. Nothing is being registered on the microphone. So hell yeah, we did it, everybody. The gate is good. The gate I have in for other stuff also works for the fan, as long as it's closed. If I put the fan, like, on the desk, if I put it, like, right over here, then it would probably get picked up, because it would be blowing, like, at the microphone. But where it is now, we're golden. We are golden. Anyway, I got an anime to talk about. Again, I decided Snowball Earth, not my thing. I like the premise of the pilot, but the first episode basically is just a setup for the real show, and I don't really like the real show. But let's talk about episode 3 of an observation log of my fiancée who calls herself Villainess. Remember, this is a girl who remembers a lot about an Otome game that she's in. She is not the main character. The main character is the prince, who is Cecil, who was kind of like, he was just didn't really have any emotions. He's just always been kind of surrounded by people that just either praised him or treated him like an adult. And he finally met somebody who challenges him and is weird. And she also thinks that she is a villainess. She's going to become a villainess, and she doesn't like that things are changing from the story. And a lot of things that are changing from the story are happening because he's intervening based on the information she's presenting. And there are changes to the world, some of which are fucking positive. Birdia, our villainess, she enrolls at school where Cecil is part of the student council, along with Court Gain, who is he is like probably a minor villain in the main storyline we're getting the sense of, because there was some shit that was supposed to be happening with him that isn't happening. Anyway, they're on the student council. Some other characters, Joanna we're introduced to, who is Cecil's cousin, so she is of noble lineage but not in lines for succession. She becomes one of Birdia's friends, along with some other characters that we meet who may or may not become important. Cynthia, Anne, and Cecilia. There are other boys that are in the student council that we get introduced because this is still an Otome game, so they might be love. We don't know who our heroine is right now, but there are characters that would probably, the student council members. Easy. Smart. Apparently, these girls that become friends with her in the Otome game, they are minions. They are her evil minions because she is a villainess. So Birdie is just like, I'm so excited to have my evil minions finally. And then Birdia finally gives us some information about our main character, Heronia. That's right. This fucking Otome game named their main female lead, the heroine, Heronia. But anyway, they're like, she's like convinced, like, oh, okay, they're going to meet Heronia soon. Apparently, all of the student council guys and some other people are all love targets. So she is convinced they're all going to meet, their perspective love of their lives. Cecil's just like, yeah, I did meet her. She seems weird. And so I reported her as suspicious. And Birdie was like, that doesn't make any fucking sense. Like, why didn't that work? She can't believe it. And me, your friend Pat, goes, is Heronia also an isekai character who, like, knows the story? Hey, Jushin, welcome. And, like, maybe she knows the story and is expecting it to go well, but she's also not good at it? Or is it just the fact that our main character, who is supposed to be the villainess, has kind of charmed everyone because she is just such a nice person and weird because she thinks she's, you know, because of what she says? Like, maybe she's just messed up the world by being a good person, or this quote-unquote storyline. But I'm not sure yet, because we don't really get a good sense of what's going on with Herona. And later we find out Joanna says, there are a bunch of students who are jealous of you, including Herona, probably because the sense is that, like, you know, she's going off script, and maybe some people can kind of sense that. We find out that Joanna is basically, this is one of those things where you're like, oh, okay, yeah. Joanna, who is again a cousin of Cecil, she's there to protect Bertia for Cecil, because they are worried about her and looking out for her. And also, he's confident that Kuro, if there's any issues going on, that Kuro can protect Bertia. Bertia tries to set, like, Bertia, who's trying to get the story back on track. She is convinced that this story is going to happen no matter what, so she should try to, like, fix stuff. So she tries to have a meet cute to get the story back on track so that Heronia and Cecil can meet and have the interaction they're supposed to have. That doesn't work, of course, because our guy is just, the only thing he's ever really been interested in is this weird girl that seemingly can see the future, but in her mind is events from a story. So he's just always more interested in Bertia. And because of that, he just keeps missing out on meeting Heronia. All of these attempts to put these two characters together fail because he is just focused on the girl that, you know, the girl that he is captivated by. And so there's like a bunch of, like, misconnections. There are a lot of misconnections, and it's a good bit of business. All right, so I need E213. E213 is this piece here. All right, and that looks like this. Then I need D1 and D2. I got D1 here. I got D2 here, so I need the D1 that I haven't used yet. So that's going to be this D1. Again, I'm building two of these at the same time that are slightly different. They're different in some big ways, but they're like, that's arm related, not really chest related. Like, this is like the only real difference between the two is because, like, one of the arms is weird on this kit. So it, for the most part, is just the same shit, but it is occasionally a little confusing. All right, so 33 is on this side. And 34. This piece here. All right, great. All right, so episode Heronia is also a baron's daughter, and again, that's the, you know, the difference in status. She is also trying to meet Cecil, and it's very difficult for her to do that without weird accidents, which is what happened in the previous story. So it's just, it ain't happening. They're not gonna meet up. It's just not gonna work. And also, Heronia is attempting to meet him, and she shouldn't be trying. So, in the video game, the Otome game, he might have been like, oh, charmed by her. But in this reality, he's just like, what bad manners? What's her fucking problem? And then also, even if he comes to believe her that, like, oh, okay, this is all part of a game and a game world, whatever that means, and all that, he started to get a little annoyed and a little upset that the young woman he is the most ever been interested, the person he's ever been interested out of anyone ever in his life, keeps trying to set him up with somebody. And so he's starting to, like, get a little pissed about it. He doesn't find this shit cute. It's annoying because he's like, no, what? Stop doing this. So things are probably going to come to a head in the next episode. I'm really fucking digging this. I really like the show. It's good stuff. And I recommend it if you were looking for a bit of a different take on a kind of tried and true storytelling. The villainous character. Because even now, there's certainly been plenty of these kinds of shows where it's the main character is bad at being the villainous. She is trying to be the villainous, and she is doing a piss poor job of it because she doesn't have a bad bone in her body. This is a fun take on that. And that is, again, an observation log of my fiancée who calls herself a villainess. It's a good time. You should check it out if you haven't already. And I don't have another anime to talk to you about because, like I said, I didn't want to keep watching Snowball Earth, so I didn't. I'll have something next Saturday, or maybe on Monday I'll start doing 2, and then Saturday will be maybe Manga Saturday instead of Manga Monday. I don't know. But right now I only have 1 show I talk about on Mondays, and I got 2 for Thursday, so I'll figure something out. Let's see. What should we talk about here? Now is the part of the stream where I want to hear from you, friends. What are you watching right now? What are you playing? You playing any video games? You watching any TV? You go to the movies lately? Did you watch any independent wrestling this week for or whatevs? You check out anything out there? Let me know. I always love hearing from you about things that you're watching and into, because I do like to hear from you about those things. So feel free to let me know what you got going on, because again, I always like hearing about that. I'll let you know that I'm still playing Dosa Divas, and that game fucking rules. And I am not confident that I would be able to say many of the names in that game correctly. I'm also not very good at it, but I'm having fun with it. So I've been playing that a lot. I am still not done with. I didn't do anything today with it, but I'm still not done with the treehouse. The outside of the treehouse. I did a bunch of it yesterday while I had some gaming streams on, and I'm still not anywhere near done with that. It has been a nightmare. I think it might be too big a job, but it's still good, and there's still some good gags in it and good references. There was a text message from a horse, which some people will know what that means in the context of Adventure Time. A certain kick-ass horse sent a text message, and I was very happy about that. I was just like, fuck yeah. I was very excited about that bit of business. We need B1. B1. Here it is. So that's been going good. Let's see. Anything else gaming-wise? I'm in Hearthstone. You know I'm still playing Hearthstone. I got a deck that's weird. It when it works, it's pretty fun. It is not an OTK deck, but it is an Overwhelm deck. There is a 9-cost minion that is a 6/6. That if it's the only minion on the board, it is immune to all damage. So you can't damage it. It is just a immune 6/6, and it's on the board. And you're like, well, Pat, 9 cost for a 6/6, that's not good. Well, maybe not in Standard. In Standard, it's a very fucking bad card. But in Wild, Paladins have ways to get that card to come out faster. And you can play it for much cheaper. And also, Paladins have a bunch of fucking cards that buff. And so you can, like, oh, well, you did a bunch of damage before you can play it. They took a bunch of damage to you. Well, now you do a bunch of damage because you can heal. Because you can put on a thing that gives it lifesteal. And you can put on cards that double it. You can put on, there's a card that gives it +2 and then does the attack as damage to every minion on the opponent's board, so you can just clear their board while also buffing your minion. And you have 2 of them in your deck, so if they do manage to like use Hex, because you can still use Hex, or a board clear that also affects it, just removes, like removal, and they figure out how to do it, you also have a backup. It's not a good deck, but it is really fun and kind of fucking frustrating to play against. So I'm having fun with that deck. Also, I haven't played Paladin in a while, so it's nice to have a Paladin deck. But yeah, right now I have 3 decks in rotation that I am enjoying quite a bit. And it's a pretty good time. Okay, so you may notice that we're not doing this other part right now. And that's because this is the arm that has this weird piece that we're going to put on. We're going to put this like scrunchy material on it at some point. So we're not going to do anything with it yet. We're going to do all the rest. But that's the big difference, is that we're not going to do this part of the arm yet anyway. It's weird. We have the pieces for it. We're just not doing that yet. That's coming from another time. What else? Anything else that I've been playing? Not really. I've been checking mods for Fallout 4 because I keep up with Fallout 4. And then, today I finished all of Nuka World. I did the last thing in Nuka World, which is Kitty Kingdom, which, with all the cheats I have, is still annoying. Because I'm playing with all kinds of mods and cheats, but it's still an annoying time to get through Kitty Kingdom. But I'm glad I'm fucking done with it. All right, so I need C115. I need the other C1. That's the problem. I was like, why isn't this the right pieces? Because I need this C1. 15. See, again, I got confused. I was like, why did I already use this piece? Because I did it for the other chest. For the other fucking Zaku. Lastbrook says, I haven't watched any wrestling. Still playing the new marathon. I got to the final vault upgrade. Oh, I got to sneeze. Hold on a second. Hell yeah, I hit the mute button. So because I could tell that sneeze was going to be a fucking thing. That sneeze had weight behind it. So I'm glad that I didn't sneeze loudly into the microphone. You're fucking welcome. Anyway, Lastbrook says, I got the final vault upgrade, which was nice for a time, but now I'm right back to my vault being full. Yeah, I mean, you know, that's how that goes. Your upgrade is smooth sailing up until the minute where it's not, and suddenly you're like, ah, shit. Now I just filled it with junk. I also got a ANY Thor with part of my tax return, and I'm glad I did when I chose, as they have already had to raise the price on the model I got by $100. You've been playing Super Mario 3D Land in 1080p, and the game is still great. Hell yeah, it is. Yeah, I'm glad you got the Thor. Yeah, hey, this is not legal advice. I'm not giving you any kind of advice. Or this is not a buyer's guide. If you get money back from the federal government and you're like, I want to buy a thing, you should do that now, as soon as possible. If you want to make purchases of electronics, you should buy them. You should have bought them a couple months ago, but you definitely should buy them now. Anything that is being imported, who knows when the fuck that's going to go up again with tariff shit, even made in the United States. All that stuff is going to get more and more pricey as availability becomes scarcer. If there's a thing that you want, you should get it. Because even old stock will go up because there'll be demand for old stock. So, yeah, I think Lashbrook was interested in that, and then it just makes all the sense in the world to get it now because you don't fucking know when that stuff is going to be available again. So it looks like this one we're not doing the backpack yet. That's interesting. So we did the whole part of this. I think it's because of the other parts. So we're not doing the backpack for this yet. I assume we'll do it later. But we're going to do this, and we're almost done with this chest, and then we can panel line it. From our khaki green. Dirty says, finished story on Death Stranding 2 after 91 hours. Dang, that's a lot of fucking hours. Congrats. That was a hoot and a half. Started on Pragmata, and I'm considering going to the theater tomorrow morning to see either Mario or Hail Mary. Very... Well, I mean, they're both... You know what? I was about to say very different movies. They are both movies about space. That's probably all. That's probably the only thing you can tie it together. I don't know if there's anything else tied together. But yeah, Dirty, have a good time on a Sunday morning movie. If that's or afternoon or evening, whatever you're doing. A Sunday movie, that sounds pretty great. I hope you have an excellent time with that. And that's a lot of hours. Pragmata, huh? So, I haven't watched any VTubers play it, but several of the VTubers in the EN, the English for HoloLive, had sponsor streams for that, like yesterday and today. And I was like, huh. I might watch a stream, and I haven't yet because of all of the wrestling. I don't know, man. The idea of it's a shooter and also there's puzzle stuff and you got to do it is appealing and interesting. I've heard some people call it a B game, like a Vanquished kind of B game. I know it's not a full price game. I don't know. It seems kind of neat, but I don't know if I want to play it. I'm gonna have to watch some streams. I'm gonna have to watch some people play that game because I really haven't seen anybody play it yet. Because I don't know. I know that 2 out of the 3 Nextlander folks are interested. You can always try the demo. You know what? Look, Dirty, you're right. I could try the demo. There is a demo out there, and I could give it a shot. You're right. That is also a thing I could do. And I probably don't do that enough with games. Is see, oh, hey, is there a demo here? Let me see if I like it. I don't know. But yeah, Brad seems super into it. Brad Shoemaker. And Vinny seemed pretty into it, and then Alex did not seem super into it. And I do lean a little more towards Vinny when it comes to those kinds of games. So he's kind of into them. I'm like, all right, okay, all right. But then I think, well, that's just the collection parts of those games. I'm really more in line with Alex Navarro when it comes to what I think is just like, no, I can't do this. So I'm like, oh, I don't know. Yeah, I was surprised at how much the internet has blown up for it. Yeah, I think it was just like people were just kind of looking for something neat. And I think it demoed supposedly well. And I think it also trailered really well. So that's good. Good enough. Lord Crash says, I've started watching some things to cut down on the backlog of Nextlander watch episodes I have on my phone. So I watched the D&D movie from a few years ago, and it was a very good action comedy with lots of good bits. That movie is really fun. Yeah. Believe the hype, folks. That movie is a good time. You should check it out if you haven't. I also started a rewatch of Twin Peaks and watched the first 2 episodes, which were very good and very weird at times. Love the way Kyle's Agent Cooper is early on. Yes, as Agent Cooper, as he's finding his footing, I should say. There is some times where it's just like, all right, this is just such a weird fucking guy, a weird performance. All right, it looks like we can do most of the arms. We can do at the same time. I think, right? Wait. So we're doing... Okay, no. Right now, we're doing the left and the right arm for green. We're doing this left and right arm because we also want to do the shield. And then we're going to do the left and right arms for khaki. Green khaki. Now, they call it khaki. As suggested, olive would have been good as well, but we're going to go with khaki because that's what it says in here over and over again. So we're going to get started on the right and left arms of the green. So anytime I pull out any colored pieces like B1 and B2, I have to make sure it's green and not olive. I did love the bit where they break out of prison right before they were going to be granted early parole as a good bit for the players executing a weird plan they didn't need to do for the hell of it. Yes, it's good time. It's good times. Good times. It's been a long time since I watched Twin Peaks. I'll tell you that. A very long time. I did not do a rewatch at any time. I did think about doing a rewatch before the new Twin Peaks from several years ago, and instead I just watched Fire Walk with Me again, and then watched the show, and that was enough. It all kind of came back to me. All right, I gotta sneeze, so hold on, because I'm. Boy, wow, yeah, my allergies are really coming after me here. I keep thinking I'm going to... Sorry, I didn't hit the mute button that time because that one I just could not feel coming. It's a very good... DM has come up with a name last second. Name, for Jonathan, yes. I had a fun time to figure out which streaming service Twin Peaks was on, yeah. I think I have to sneeze again here. Hold on. I'm going to mute myself for a second and blow my nose because maybe that'll help me out. For those that weren't there early in the stream, my apologies on that. We had a lot of cleaning to do in the screened-in patio area of the house, where all of the pollen for the last couple months collected and lived. So we had to take the plastic covers off of all of the furniture there and clean that all off and put those away. And then I took the old rug out, rolled that up, and then I put a new rug in. And then put all the old furniture back on the new furniture stuff and all that stuff. I did a bunch of things and things, and it all worked out great. All right, so I need 31, 23, and 20. And I do this on the other one here as well. And this will be me building 2 arms here, and we're doing this one here. But yes, sorry. My allergies are catching up with me. I'm going to take another allergy pill before I go to bed, and that will hopefully let me sleep without sneezing or having to blow my nose. But I really needed to do it. It really needed to come out, so it did. Tonight, I'm going to watch on my own, just Collision, because it aired on Thursday, and I didn't watch it on Thursday, so I'm going to watch, because I watched a fucking fantastic show, which maybe I'll talk about on Monday, but I watched the Desperado from New Japan did a deathmatch show. It was really fucking good. A couple low points, but mostly all high points. And so I was like, I'm going to watch that live. And then I haven't gotten to watch Collision yet. And I hear the tag match in Collision was really good. So I'm probably just going to watch that now, tonight, at my leisure, and skip the ads and all that. So that will be pretty good for me. That's my plan tonight, but I'm not in a rush to watch it because I'm not going to watch the West Coast replay because that was on Thursday. I don't have to worry about that. So yeah, that's about it over here. Like I said, I'm going to take an allergy pill. I'm going to make a snack. And I'm going to watch some shit, and it'll be good. If there's anything else I want to say about anything like that, I'm excited for myself tomorrow because I am making a stir fry, and I got some pork shoulder. So I am going to slice it unbelievably thin. And then I am going to velvet it with some baking soda and water. And a little, just a dash of water to thin out some soy sauce, and then some bicarbonate baking soda. And I'm going to velvet some of that pork, and that's going to be really fucking good with my stir fry. One thing I don't think we have in this house is, well, we have onion, because I want to put onion in the stir fry because I like it. It's my stir fry. I'm going to make it the way I like. So I would like to put onion in it, but I think we only have enough onion for the stew my dad is going to make on Monday or Tuesday. My dad's going to make stew on Tuesday. So I kind of want him to, or I kind of want to save all the onion for that. But maybe I can just take like a little bit, and he won't mind. I'm gonna ask tomorrow, because I would like a little onion in my stir fry, because it tastes good. I got some red pepper to put in there. That'll be good too. And yeah, I think that's gonna be my particular stir frying. It's good stuff. Drop an egg in there. Cook up the rice ahead of time. I'm gonna cook the rice at like lunch, and then put it in the fridge, so that way I'm just reheating it up in the stir fry. It won't be day old rice. I could make it tonight, but I think I'll just make it day of. I think that's gonna be real good for me, your friend Pat, who wants to eat stir fry. All right. I think this is how this piece goes in. I think this is correct. I'll find out later if I did this wrong. I don't remember how these arms work. And then I need B2 or B115. I'll do B215 or B115. And oh, I'm doing dark green, not khaki. I'm doing dark green. If anybody else has anything that they're excited about, want to tell me about going on, you got anything coming up this week, let me know. I'm going to get caught up tomorrow night. I'm going to watch in the Discord with friends some wrestling that is unrelated to this week, but is stuff I just want to see from Sendai Girls Professional Wrestling. Because I hear the last 3 matches were really good. So I really want to watch that tomorrow, because I don't care about WrestleMania and what happens on the Mania. So I'm going to not watch that. Instead, watch some pro wrestling from Japan. Make that my night. Okay. Put that there. Put that there. Also, I watched so much wrestling last night. Jesus fucking Christ. I watched the DDT show that or not the DDT show, the Tokyo Just Pro Wrestling show that I had missed on Thursday, because it was like Thursday at 2 p.m. my time, and I was like, no, I'm not watching this live. So I watched it on Saturday, and then watched Joey Janela's Spring Break, which started really late, it's understandable, but then went really late. And the main event I didn't watch live. I watched that today, Brody versus Joey, because I was just like, I'm not gonna watch that live because it was just so late, so fucking late. I might skim through the clusterfuck tomorrow afternoon, but I might just skip it entirely. All right, I need D124, or it's D224. I'll do D224, sure. All right. Check. Okay, so good. Just making sure. Yeah, we'll put that on there. And for me, anyway, next week, next Tuesday, we're gonna play Piece by Piece. That is the name of the game. I couldn't think of the name of the game. Piece by Piece, which I wanted to play 2 weeks ago, but ended up canceling that stream because my voice cut out on me. I'm gonna fucking play that video game on Tuesday, and I hope you'll come by for it, because it'll be fun. Please come by for that stream, because I want to actually play that game. You're a fox that owns a repair business, like a You're like a VCR repairman, but a fox. You repair a bunch of different things. And I'm like, that just fucking sounds great. And I want to play that. So I hope you'll come by for that stream because it does seem neat. Let me just get a pen or something. Do I have a pen here? Thought for sure I have a marker. Here's a marker. Just gonna mark where I left off. Sorry for the shakiness. We left off here on the shoulder piece, the shoulder connector. We got a lot done on this though, so that's fun. We have 2 Zakus that are coming together. They're getting built. It's very strange to look at. Especially because this one feels unfinished, because right now it is. But that'll look different once they're together. But yeah, that's next Tuesday. But on Monday, more model kit building. I'm going to keep working on this stuff. I'll talk about some anime and some manga, and we'll chat about things and things, and it'll be a good time on a Monday. I think that's it. That's probably it. Thanks for being here. We are going to end the stream with a raid. That is how we end every stream around here. We're going to go find someone doing cool stuff. What happened here? Sorry, hold on. There it is. Sorry about that. Okay. We're going to end with a raid. We're going to go find somebody doing cool stuff. Go spend some time with them. And I hope you'll come along on this raid. And then as a reminder, my next stream is on Monday, 9 p.m. Eastern time. 2 hours of model kit building and conversation are ahead of you. It does not look like anyone that I follow is live and streaming that is on my following list. So when that happens, we always rely on Giant Bomb Forever. We're going to go hang out with Giant Bomb Forever and see what's going on there. Jeff Gershman is playing a video game right now, so we'll go hang out with all of those fine people. And I hope that you will come along on this raid as we go see some old Giant Bomb bullshit. But yeah, Brad is there and Ben is there, and and Jeff, that's a great crew. So we'll go hang out with them. I want to thank you all so much for being here. I hope you have a great rest of your night, and I hope this weekend finds you well. I'll be back on Monday for more model kit building, more conversation, more hanging out, more goofs on occasion, and a little bit of righteous fury here and there, just for fun. But thanks so much for being here. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. Goodbye.